It's time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning and welcome to City Beat. My name is Stuart Walter and my guest this morning is City of Thompson Mayor Dennis Fenske. Thanks for joining me, Dennis.
Good morning.
Another city council took place this past Monday with no shortage of topics or opinions. Councillor Matichuk delivered a report as chair of the Development Review Committee. Various councillors were selected to attend different events, as well as the amended 2017 fee and fine schedule, which was passed. Talking a bit about what happened during the meeting, to start things off, there were 4 people who came forward with questions. One of them was about people using handicapped parking spaces without permits. Now, this isn't something that's just a problem here in Thompson. It's a problem everywhere where there are handicapped spaces. I understand it's the job of the community safety officers to patrol and make sure they aren't being used improperly. How can people get in touch if they want to report someone using a spot unlawfully?
So basically what you're looking for is the blue placard in the windshield or on the dash. If a vehicle doesn't have that, then they're parked illegally in a handicap zone. And you can call City Hall. It's 204-677-7920. They'll transfer you down to bylaw enforcement. And in addition to the CSOs, the community safety officers, our bylaw officers, our other bylaw officers can also issue tickets for that. And the difference between that ticket and a normal parking ticket is that there's an incentive to pay a parking ticket. You can reduce the fee if you pay it early. In handicapped parking tickets, the ticket is the tickets. It's in excess of $300 and there's no reduction. So you shouldn't be parking in a handicap zone unless you have that blue placard.
The hot button issue this week seemed to be your attendance at the PDAC conference.
Yes.
What is PDAC and why is it important for Thompson to have a representative there?
It's basically the Prospector and Developers Association of Canada. It's a mining conference where all of the mining companies across Canada and the communities and provinces that have mining within them come together. I'm part of a Manitoba contingent that will be promoting Manitoba as an opportune place to mine and to create new mines. There was just a release yesterday or the day before where Manitoba has moved up to the #2 best mining opportunity in Canada, or in the world actually, and Saskatchewan is in first. It's a substantial move by Manitoba, the province, from I believe we were 19th a couple of years ago up to #2. So there's plenty of opportunities. There in the recent news, there's a potential of a lithium deposit in southern Manitoba. And so this meeting or conference is a chance to interact with companies to, again, reaffirm that Manitoba is open for business. Thompson is open for business for potential mining companies, junior companies to do exploration because it does take a while to develop a mine from start to actual production. So this is just exposure for the city of Thompson to make sure that the companies are aware of our situation and the potential for investment.
You, as well as councillors Matichuk and Beyer, will be in Ottawa from June 1st through the 4th at the Federation of Canadian Municipalities 2017 Annual Conference. Why is this an important event to attend?
Well, as you said, it's an annual conference. We are a member of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, and the Federation of Canadian Municipalities represents all municipalities across Canada in discussions with the federal government. And one of the most recent successes of the lobby efforts on that is the production of the gas tax and the sharing of the gas tax with municipalities. So it's very important for the city of Thompson to be present in regards to promoting the city of Thompson, but also being aware of provincial and national issues. You get a chance to meet with other mayors, other councillors, to see how similar or dissimilar community issues are, and some of our solutions could be to some of their problems. Some of our problems can be have solutions that have been already dealt with in another community. So it's a really good information sharing 3 or 4 days and it's really important for the city of Thompson to be there.
At the end of council, you officially declared March Nutrition Month here in Thompson. Why is it important to promote healthy eating?
Well, especially in northern Manitoba, we have the highest rate of type 2 diabetes, and that is definitely health nutrition related. And so from the perspective of healthy living and long life, good balanced diet is required. And so from a an education perspective, I know the nutritionists this month will be having a number of initiatives to create awareness for what good nutrition is. I remember a story told to me about nutrition. A basic rule of thumb is when you're in a grocery store, the most nutritious food can be found on the outside aisles. As you move into the inside of the store, it's more processed food. So the fresh fruit, fresh meat, fresh fish, things like that are usually on the outside of a store, and that's where you start with your nutritional values for shopping.
The official announcement was made that the Manitoba Power Smart Winter Games are coming to Thompson next March, and it was made Tuesday by Minister Rochelle Squires at Deerwood School. We all knew this was coming, just made official. It was a great event. Deerwood was definitely there to provide the energy and the atmosphere that was needed for that type of announcement. Is it anything different now that it's official?
I think the difference is that that there's that acknowledgement, and you could see it if anybody was in Deerwood School at the announcement. The energy that the kids brought to that event, that just sort of reinvigorates what's going to happen over the 368 days to go to the games, which will be March 4th to the 10th in Thompson. And so it's really exciting. We've got a really good group of volunteers headed by Sandra Ross Hitch and Murray Kissick as the co-chairs and a strong executive, and we'll be looking for volunteers over the next number of months to fill in the remaining committee and their different assignments. But just the event itself, having experienced the 1994 games, and for people most recently who have experienced Rogers Hometown Hockey and Winterfest this past weekend, there's a breath of fresh air, there's a breath of energy that gets put into the community. There's lots of positive things happening, so it's just a real good morale booster going into 2018, and I can't wait for the games to happen. The other thing is the quality of athletes has changed significantly from 94, where you were basically getting athletes that it was their first competitive activity, their introduction to sports and things like that. Now, at this point in time, Sport Manitoba has really promoted the games as the stepping stone or the qualifiers to higher events. So we, all intents and purposes, will see potential Canada Games, World Games, Olympians that will start their career here in the Manitoba Games. So we're really excited about it and looking forward to it.
What would you say the biggest hurdle that this city is going to have to get over before we can host the games next March?
Well, given last week, I think it's the weather, because basically this time next year is when we'll be hosting the games, and we would hate to see minus 40 weather. We did host in 94, and it was a couple weeks later, and I believe it was like minus 5, minus 8. So not that you can control the weather. We hope that we're in acceptable weather limits, because there are a number of outdoor sports like cross-country skiing, downhill skiing, that could be affected by that. But I think there are no real hurdles in the sense of the games as a positive experience. There's lots of volunteers, lots of work to be done behind the scenes. We've got approximately 3,000 people over 6 to 7 days coming into our community. Economically, it's a big boost to our community, and so we're looking forward to that. So I think any challenge is just basically that. It's a challenge that we'll overcome, and there are none that are too big not to overcome.
What are the next immediate steps for the city to take place, and are there any facility upgrades that are going to need to happen? I know, for example, the summer games are happening this summer in Winnipeg, and they've had to upgrade their facilities in order to accommodate the events and all the athletes and everyone coming to town for that.
Absolutely, and then the games that are coming to Winnipeg are the Canada Games, and so that's a much larger scale. And for our perspective, we're really lucky in that we've just recently completed the Valley Regional Recreation Center, and so that facility where most of the events will take place is up to speed and is recently new. There'll be some minor improvements, for instance, to the Brentwood Curling Club, to the Norplex Pool, for alpine skiing and cross-country skiing, and possibly to the high school where the basketball and other events will take place. So comparatively to 1994, the facility upgrades will be minimal, but in the same sense, we'll be blessed with an abundance of facilities that are very close proximity to each other. So you'll really get a games atmosphere, unlike any other community where shared communities, where you're traveling between two communities. Ours is basically centered around the VRCC and the high school, with a couple other events outside of that, but you'll really get a strong games atmosphere that week.
Now, Winterfest wrapped up this past Sunday for another year, and last week, Deputy Mayor Valentino was on City Beat, and she told us her favorite memory of Winterfest was almost finding Rudy the Raven one year. What's your favorite memory from Winterfest?
Well, I think every year Winterfest, my favorite is the fireworks. That's because in the summertime, when you have fireworks on Canada Day, you're waiting till 11:30. It's not quite dark. It's dark, but not quite dark. And so the I guess the brightness of the fireworks isn't as good as in the wintertime when it's pitch black. And that's what I really enjoy is the fireworks. I want to congratulate the Winterfest committee and also our city staff that assisted and supported the event. Got great reviews, especially on the maze that will stay in place as long as weather is permitting and it's safe. So the maze will stay in place. Again, the fireworks were well complimented. The children's snowmobile races, the couple hockey games that were held, the alumni game and the RCMP fire paramedic game, and other events. So overall, a great weekend, and look forward to next year.
Well, that about does it for this edition of City Beat. Thanks again to my guest, Mayor Dennis Fenske, for joining me.
Thank you.
For 102.9 CHTM, I'm Stuart Walter.
City Beat will be back next Thursday morning.